everyone, and welcome to Baldur's Gate 3. Today we're playing the newest 4.1.104 version, in which they've added a bunch of new content, namely the Druid class, that we'll be having some fun with today. We'll be playing the Moon subclass, which enables us to take full advantage of transforming to different animals, enjoying all the utility and trouble we can get into with that. Some of the animals we'll be able to transform into will be a cat, a badger, a giant spider, a polar bear, a raven, and a wolf. Our character is going to be neutral for the most part. Our objective is to be on a quest for magical power and knowledge. Doesn't matter what we have to do in order to attain it. I did take some inspiration from Wolfheart FPS's channel for this character build. He makes some killer BG3 content. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. So here we'll be selecting the Sage background origin story. It's going to give us some proficiencies in Arcana and History. So we'll have a better chance to roll successfully when we're studying magical items or artifacts, or we're running around in some historical ruins and dungeons trying to figure out puzzles and things like that. And here you can see us moving on to the race section of the character creation. Now, in my mind, the main choices for this would either be a dwarf, a half-elf, or a human. The reason for this is all three of these races have a +1 attribute to their wisdom skill, and wisdom is our main skill as a druid. So with that advantage, it'll give us a better chance to hit and maybe do a little more damage with our druid spells and casts and things like that. So for that reason, I end up going with the dwarf actually, so we still get that +1 wisdom modifier, but I also wanted the +2 to constitution. Constitution is really important to maintain concentration. We're going to cast spells, we're going to transform into a beast, go cause some damage, and hopefully maintain that concentration by successful constitution rolls. So yeah, gold dwarf, +2 to constitution, +1 to wisdom. Next up, we're picking our spells and cantrips. Cantrips are a spell-like ability that cost 0 resources to cast, so we can cast them as often as we like. And our build's bread and butter is going to be the Thorn Whip cantrip. It's a highly accurate ranged attack that allows us to pull our targets. I'm going to try and use this to throw as many enemies off huge cliffs as I can. We also got Poison Spray, a 1d12 poison damage for when enemies are up close and too personal. Next we went with Fairy Fire. It takes some concentration and will cast this debuff on enemies before transforming into an animal to completely tear them apart. Also picked up Entangle for some crowd control to root our enemies to the ground, as well as Cure Wounds, a 1d8 heal on touch in case us and our party gets in some real sticky situations. Last is Thunderwave, a 2d8 damage roll that will throw our enemies off cliffs as well. In case you're unfamiliar, 1d8 means you roll 1 die that is numbered between 1 and 8 for your damage, and a 2d8 roll means you roll 2 8-sided die, and the sum of those rolls is the amount of damage you end up doing. The most important skill for a druid will be Wisdom and Constitution. Wisdom because that's our class's primary ability, which will affect our spell's effectiveness, and Constitution will determine our health and survivability, as well as give us a better chance not to break our concentration when we take damage while trying to keep a magic spell cast up on the enemies. For this reason, we're going to put 16 points into both Wisdom and Constitution, as well as 14 into Dexterity for a better chance to get the first turn to attack in combat, and then an even 10 points into Charisma and Intelligence, and 8 points in our weakest stat, which is Strength. The last part of character creation, you get to create the fantasy guy or girl that your character wants to smash. You have every race available, from the drow, dwarf, tiefling, human, half-elf, elf, and githyanki. I was thinking about going for the half-elf or dwarf, but decided Dwarf Saku is more of a vanilla bitch who prefers human girls, who are like way taller than him. The rest of the character customization is pretty in-depth, as you can see me speeding through it here. It has tons of options and great graphics, which I do appreciate about the game. That's going to end the character creation for this playthrough. If you'd like to see how this playthrough goes, leave a like and I'll get started on creating the series. Much love, you guys. Take care and peace out.